It's time for the multiversal crossover you all have been waiting for. Also, this video exists as well. Anyway, on with the show. So, what xenomorphs am I fighting off today? Wait, I am not? I'm making dinosaurs. The actual reason that I became a narrator on this channel? Finally! So, let's get into our first dinosaur, based on the regenerating degenerate himself, Deadpool. Mostly because a new movie is coming out, and N.E.R.D and his art friends want to exploit the YouTube algorithm for all it's worth. Which isn't much, but still. Anyway, this dinosaur is essentially a T-Rex. As to be expected from a Deadpool dino, it is red and black with a blade on its tail. No, I was not able to program the dinosaur to be able to wield guns. Although I did try. I also programmed the area around its mouth to look like Deadpool's actual skin. And yes, in case you were wondering, the minute this dinosaur was born, it broke out of its enclosure and viciously murdered the Green Lantern dinosaur I had nearby. Anyway, the areas of its body that are currently regenerating from wounds also look like this. As one may have surmised from that statement, yes, this dinosaur can in fact regenerate. I took DNA from starfish, lizards, and a few other regenerating creatures, and put it into this dino, giving it a healing factor, similar to what Deadpool has in the comics. Granted, if you still injured this dinosaur enough, it would eventually die. After all, I plan to add this dinosaur's DNA into my transformations, and I don't want to be too overpowered. Side note, for people asking who would win a fight, me or that Benny Sharp guy, the answer is me. Easily. However, speaking of multiversal crossovers, let's move on to our next dinosaur. Our next dinosaur is based on Wolverine. Also, I'm about to say something that may get me cancelled, but I think Wolverine is overrated. I'm not wrong here. Wolverine's powers are kind of basic. He has metal claws and can't die. That's it. There are so many more interesting X-Men out there. Nightcrawler, Storm, Gambit. Don't even get me started on that guy. The only reason that Wolverine got popular was because of the grimdark period in the 90s, where having dark and brooding anti-heroes was considered cool and unique, despite everyone doing it. Anyway, what was I talking about? The Wolverine dinosaur. This one is mostly based on a Dinosaurus. You know, the dinosaurs with the long claws, for obvious reasons. I also threw in a bit of Utahraptor to make this thing more vicious and intimidating. I also gave it the same healing factor that I gave the Deadpool Rex. Speaking of the Deadpool Rex, I made this one significantly shorter than it. Because Wolverine is played by Van Helsing himself, people often forget that, in the comics, Wolverine is actually quite short. There are a few things I didn't program into this dino's genetics, though. I couldn't make its claws actual metal because animals with natural metal don't exist. I also could not give it the ability to sing songs from The Greatest Showman, the single most overrated musical, which claims to be a biography about P.T. Barnum, but is so far removed from the real, rather brutal history that it might as well be an original story. Sorry, I got distracted. Also, I did not program this thing to be an alcoholic, though not for lack of trying. Actually, speaking of alcohol, a Virgin Mint Mojito sounds really good right now. I think I'll go get one. It is 8:15 a.m. in a rowdy bar. The bar's owner, Liz, is pacing back and forth, muttering to herself nervously.
Great. A busy night. Hopefully someone will come in and distract me from this rowdy crowd tonight. I hope saying this will cause him to show up.
Suddenly, Liz heard the sound of footsteps approaching. Her heart began to rapidly beat with excitement, but she quickly calmed herself.
Okay, it worked. Okay, just play it cool, Liz. You got this. Hey, Max. Got some more animatronic? Oh, sorry. You're not who I was expecting.
Afraid not. Hello there, Liz. The Virgin Mint Mojito on the rocks, please.
Sure. How do you know my name?
I've watched a few of your videos. By the way, you and Max, I ship it.
What are you? Why? Forget it. What's with the outfit, by the way? You just get back from a con or something?
Well, you see, I'm a superhero that's been traversing the multiverse and making cameos in videos.
How drunk are you?
Speaking of which, make sure to go and subscribe to Night of Arcane's channel, so that way you can get context to half the stuff I'm saying here.
Okay, once again, how drunk are you?
I don't drink, actually. I ordered a Virgin Mint Mojito for a reason. Suddenly, the conversation was interrupted by the sound of yelling, screaming, and shattering glass. Yet another 8:15 bar fight had begun. A bar fight?
The 8:15 crowd. They tend to get pretty rowdy. I'll call the bouncers.
Please, allow me. Suddenly, the strange man stood up. He tapped a few buttons on his wrist, and his body began to transform. Before Liv's very eyes, he began to transform into Dilophosaurus. The man then rushed to the three drunk combatants and violently attacked them. Broken and bleeding, the three soon ran from the bar.
Did you just turned into a dinosaur?
Well, yeah, about that. Oh look, my arbitrary cameo time limit is up. See you never. Just as quickly as the man had arrived, he left, leaving Liz in nothing short of confusion.
What just happened? I really need a drink right now.
Okay, I'm back. I'd give that place 5 stars, but Yelp doesn't really work between dimensions, so yeah. Anyway, the next dinosaur is based on Nightcrawler. As one would expect, this dinosaur is red, black, and blue, with a long tail. It's mostly based on a velociraptor, though I did cheat the size a bit, but everyone does that. I also gave this thing multiple horns to represent the hair, along with 2 devil-like horns to represent its ears. And I know what you may be asking, could I get this thing to teleport? No, I could not. However, I did come up with a solution. I programmed this creature to be able to breathe purple gas, surround itself in it, and then quickly run away. Essentially, I gave it a biological smoke bomb. Now, typically when I finish making a dinosaur, I extract its DNA, place the DNA in my armor, then fly the dino out to a remote island where it can spend the rest of its life in peace. However, not this time. You see, I'd recently read some X-Men comics for research purposes, and came across this rather bizarre one, where a cult of mutant haters creates some long-winded and contrived scheme that involved getting Nightcrawler elected as the Pope. So I decided to work this into the story of my dinosaur. Now, a mutant-hating cult doesn't actually exist in my world, so I found the closest thing to it I could. Autism Speaks. I then tracked down their main address and shipped the Nightcrawler dinosaur to them, claiming that it was their new mascot. They opened the box, and chaos ensued. I know what you're thinking. You're afraid I just sicked a killer dino on a bunch of innocent people. But no. 1. I programmed these to be unable to kill anyone. How, you ask? Well, upon their birth, I put a microchip in their brains that detects the vital signs of the closest human around them. If that person's vital signs get close to dropping to 0, a dose of anesthetic will be injected to the dino, causing it to be knocked out. That being said, many employees were injured and mauled beyond recognition, but 2, they worked for Autism Speaks, so they had it coming. I know. Before you say anything, I know. Pterodactyls are not dinosaurs. People have always said, but your name is Dino Dude, you should only turn into dinosaurs. That's a nice concept, but I'm not going to be stranded on an island, or stuck on top of a building, or falling out of a plane, and thinking to myself, wow, sure wish I could fly right now. Too bad I decided to take my name too literally. Anyway, so this dinosaur, in quotation marks, is based on Storm. this one, I'll be honest, I had a bit of trouble with. I had no idea how to give the elemental powers of the weather to a pterodactyl. Side note, can we talk for a minute about the fact that pterodactyl starts with P? Why? Whoever invented all the verbal languages, why? This is why sign language is superior. We don't have to deal with stuff like this. Anyway, I finally figured it out. Using a mix of electric eel and water-spitting fish DNA, I was able to get a decent imitation. This dinosaur can flap its wings and send a bolt of lightning in any direction it chooses, which it mostly uses to hunt. It can also spit water at foes, which has a surprisingly brutal impact. Have you ever seen those videos of water pressure things that cut right through metal? This thing can do that to a human in seconds. That would be traumatizing to watch. Oh, wait. Speaking of trauma, I need to go do a therapy thing really quick, so that's what will be all for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to Nerd Comics Inc., as well as all the others participating in this collab.